Who seeks recognition? Mr. Weiner, do you have an amendment at the desk?
Amendment at the desk, yes, I do.
Do we need the speed reader, or can we get unanimous consent that it be considered as read?
Consent it be considered as read for the purposes of debate and passage.
Without objection, that'll be the order. Gentleman's recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think I'll take the full 5 minutes. The Energy Star indicia is one of the most recognizable ones in consumer life, except because of lack of attention on the part of Congress and EPA, it has had its meaning diluted over the course of time. The Energy Star label was envisioned by the EPA to accommodate approximately the best 25% of products, the most energy efficient ones, would get the Energy Star logo. In addition to the other things we're doing in this bill, including the best-in-class language that Ms. Harmon was able to draft, it is time we updated the Energy Star certification system. Right now, an overwhelming number of appliances have that indicia because the standards haven't been kept up. For example, 92% of dishwashers qualify for the Energy Star, 60% of dehumidifiers because the standards haven't been updated year by year. Another problem that we have is that under the Energy Star system, the appliance manufacturers provide all of the data, and according to a report by Consumers Union, it gives the manufacturers too many opportunities to game the system. They pointed to an example of a company that submitted a refrigerator for rating, and they tested it without the ice maker running. It qualified for the Energy Star rating that way, and when it was reported that it should have been had the ice maker running, it was not compliant. The amendment that I'm offering updates the program in a couple of ways. One, it requires the EPA update their standards more frequently every 3 years rather than every 7 years. Second, it requires that the EPA every once in a while do some spot testing to make sure that manufacturers are on the level. Third, it requires that manufacturers submit their most current appliances for testing and don't hold those back for fear that it will dilute the energy efficiency standards of older appliances. What sometimes happens is that if a company has something in development, they intentionally hold it back from getting its rating because they don't want to make it seem like the ones that are on the shelves are less energy compliant, again, diluting the value of the Energy Star system. One thing we don't do in this amendment that I would have liked to do is make the Energy Star label mean something relative to other Energy Star products.
Would the gentleman yield for a question?
Sure. Can I just do this one final point here? Okay, yeah, maybe I should give this a shot. Yes, I'll be glad to yield.
I want to know if you were a Yankee fan or a Met fan.
I'm a Met fan, sir.
Ask that. We don't have a problem with the policy. We have a little bit of a question about the 10 million authorization. What's that number based on?
The number is based on a ballpark of what EPA thought it would take to go and do some of these spot tests, to do update the regulations more frequently, and do the part of the amendment that I was just going to describe, which tells them to go in and study whether or not they should go to a system that allows the Energy Star label to be more communicative by making one relative to others, like a different color or a different Energy Star 1, 2, 3, so that consumers can look at two refrigerators, see two Energy Star indicias, and be able to determine which one is more or less energy efficient. They said it's going to require them some money. I happen to disagree, Mr. Chairman. I don't believe it will cost them that much money, but that's what they said, and in the wisdom of staff, we included a dollar amount since we're in the process.
No, I thank you for using a real number instead of such sums. Would you ask unanimous consent to change it to 5 million? And then if you yourself have some concerns about it?
I'd be glad if you made that unanimous consent request, I wouldn't object, and I'd leave it to the wisdom of the chairman to decide whether he should.
And then I would ask unanimous consent that the gentleman's amendment be amended to authorize 5 million per year as opposed to 10 million.
Reserving the right to object. If this is successful,
we'll accept it.
Terrific. I will withdraw my reservation.
Mr. Chairman, who has the time?
Mr. Weiner has the time.
Mr. Weiner,
it's under unanimous consent request.
The unanimous consent is agreed to.
And I yield to the gentlelady from California.
Well, I support the amendment as amended or not amended. But I wanted to say that Mr. Weiner talked to me first about this to make sure that nothing he was doing here would interfere with several provisions that are in our bill, including the so-called cash for clunker appliances provision, and also the best-in-class idea that we have. And I don't think this does interfere. I think he is right that the Energy Star label is not awarded as carefully as it should be, and our goal here is to promote efficiency, and by doing this study and by seeing whether there are improvements in the way we label things, I think it's a win for reducing carbon emissions, and certainly a win for informing consumers fully about what they are purchasing. So I just want to congratulate the gentleman for offering this amendment.
I think I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Would you yield to Mr. Green? Did you want?
I don't have any time, but I'd be glad to yield to Mr. Green.
Mr. Chairman, my concern, though, is since it was a ballpark figure, we're talking about the new Yankee Stadium, that $5 million wouldn't even buy a shutter.
Gentleman's time has expired. That question will have to be put on the table. All those in favor of the Weiner amendment say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the amendment's agreed to.